sacarme una foto con eso.
Ah, sí.
What you also?
She's marching here for her husband.
No, we were speaking earlier.
Gracias.
What you also? Hey. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, fantastic.
I just called Lisa and told her. She said that she might have she thought she heard one of us say it. So
Okay.
but
Yeah, but you guys weren't here when they had me.
it's a hectic, fast-moving thing. If we correct it, that's a good sign.
I got you, Meg.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I mean, we could always make a statement and say, like, hey, this is fast food manual, we can see things, but here's what it is. We're about to go back here in a minute, but I'll catch up with you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, it was one point where we saw a car that was trying to get through the crowd and get to the Coast Guard island here. Protesters were in front of it, preventing it from moving forward. It was slowly making its way through. We saw some officers with the U.S. Coast Guard trying to disperse the crowd to make enough space to actually get the car through. You saw the protesters smacking on the car, telling them to turn around, that they didn't want them to go through. And then that's when we saw and heard one of those flashbangs go off. You saw the crowd somewhat disperse, obviously spooked by what happened. Then I saw what looked like some sort of smoke bomb just explode right in a man's face. He immediately moved away. A few other of those protesters moved away, and then that car went through. That's something we actually saw happen as it happened. They sent out another flashbang to make clear to the crowd that they were trying to let these cars go through and that they were not allowed to stop traffic. Well, in the end, that pretty much failed, because now these protesters have taken over the entire intersection using all 4 crosswalks here and not letting any traffic in any direction here along the Embarcadero and in front of Coast Guard Island. No cars are moving around here. We've seen a number of drivers come up, see what's going on. Some have even gone out of the car and yell at some of these protesters, showing their frustration that they couldn't cross through, and then go back in the car, turn back around. I actually think we're seeing that right now. There's a gentleman I think I just saw park his car, walk out of his car, taking a look at what's going on here, realize that they are not going to get through, and then having to find an alternate route to wherever it is that they need to go here. What has happened here, what it looks like right now, is really what it's looked like for the last couple of hours. You see the folks walking with their signs, the signs that read, "No ICE or troops in the Bay," "Protect our neighbors." There are some messages in Spanish as well. "Protegiendo nuestros vecinos," which is just the Spanish translation of what I just said. There's a sign here that reads a number of names who have fallen victim to police brutality. But the issue here is mostly focused on immigration enforcement. Many people here saying that they do not want these federal law enforcement agencies here, and they don't think that the immigration enforcement is justified. Whereas on the other side of this line here, you see officers with the U.S. Coast Guard. We've also seen a number of them from Border Patrol police, at least that's what their jackets and their vests looked like it read. They are standing in line on the other side of this protest line, essentially making sure that none of these protesters actually go toward the bridge. There's a blue line that is painted onto the street here, and if anyone crosses that line, then now they're on federal property, now they are trespassing, and these guys are waiting to take action if that happens. I will tell you, we've not seen any local police here. I've not seen the Oakland Police Department, I've not seen the Alameda Police Department, nor the Alameda County Sheriff's Office. The city of Alameda put out an advisory yesterday when all the other municipalities were acknowledging that federal immigration agents would be here. The city of Alameda saying that they have nothing to do with it, that the police department does not work with ICE, it does not work with Customs and Border Patrol, and that they have no idea what those federal plans are. I think we've heard from the Alameda mayor earlier this morning echoing that sentence and that sentiment. San Francisco mayor, San Jose mayors, Daniel Lurie, Matt Mahan, also condemning the presence of that enforcement here. I think we do have a tape of the moment when some of those flashbangs went off. If we have that, let's go ahead and take that. Yeah, as you can imagine, hearing that is incredibly startling. It was startling for the protesters who were standing right next to it, so they immediately moved away, and that gave way for the car to go through. I mentioned the one reverend who was hit in the face by a smoke bomb. He immediately walked off. People came out to help him out, poured water on his face. He had a chance to talk to us, telling us a little bit about what he was thinking at the moment. He said he was shocked that he was here peacefully, that he was trying to sing in harmony with some of the other folks here and say that he is here just to protest peacefully, make his voice heard. He said that he felt like the officer was just trying to be aggressive, wanted to hurt him. That is what a lot of these people are accusing those officers here of doing. We also spoke to another man who immediately before we talked to him said that a federal law enforcement vehicle, some sort of white van, came over, ran over his ankle. He was limping off from the area. People had their arms over his shoulder, helping him out, pulling him over to a sidewalk. Someone wrapped something around his ankle, putting some ice on it too, offering him some water as well. He was telling us his reaction at the moment too, saying similar things, that he was here to protest peacefully, and that took a turn that he was not expecting. But it has been different stories since. We're hearing music, we're hearing songs, we are seeing a woman play with balloon animals and making balloon animals for people out here, and everyone here is marching very peacefully, and the Coast Guard officers are just standing in line watching everyone march these streets. Again, Embarcadero, no traffic is flowing through here, so if this is part of your normal morning commute, it will not be today. Not a single car has passed through since they've been walking this entire intersection. We will be here all morning long, as we've said, probably all day long, and we will bring you these updates as we are here. Gassi and Andre. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, just give me a 30-second if you can. Well, I'm ready to go.
I want to thank you all for coming out here in our territory to stand up. We will stand with you for as long.
Gotcha. Oh, I was going to take that. Yeah, it was about a 5-minute period during that 7 o'clock hour where it got pretty intense. You heard that one flashbang. We saw a smoke bomb go off in a man's face, and then we heard a second flashbang, all meant to try to get these protesters to move out of the way as some of these federal immigration enforcement cars were trying to pass through over the bridge leading to Coast Guard Island. Here's what it looks like right now, though. A little bit of a different story here this morning. You're seeing faith leaders from around Oakland and Alameda who have been saying prayers together. They've been singing together. You see the woman there with a guitar behind this woman who is speaking, all of which saying that this is meant to be a last-minute vigil for those who they say have been affected by federal immigration enforcement policies. I've also seen all of these protesters take over this entire intersection. Cars are not passing through here. They've figured that out by now. Anyone who comes up, they've turned around. In fact, I think some of those protesters have taken their own cars and even parked it on the actual roadway on the other side of this square, this human square that they've created. On the other side of where we're looking here, you see what looks like police officers from the U.S. Coast Guard. They are in line blocking off the Coast Guard Island entrance. They're making sure that none of these protesters try to make it over toward the bridge here. There's a blue line that is painted on the road, and once you cross that line, you are officially trespassing onto federal property, and then that's when these officers will start to enforce their law enforcement. For the meantime, protesters here, they say they are walking these lines. They are trying to make their messages known and heard, that they do not want any ICE activity, any Customs and Border Patrol activity, basically any immigration enforcement, they say, is not welcomed here. I mentioned earlier there was a smoke bomb that went off in the face of a man in the heat of these protests. He's a local reverend in Oakland. We had a chance to talk to him, and he says he was here just trying to protest peacefully.
Are there any medics here? If you could come to the microphone. Thank you.
All right, guys, I don't know if you remember this when we were doing this earlier. We're going to rise up till it's one. We're gonna rise up till it's one.
Now, there are some folks who do approve of the immigration enforcement tactics that are here in the Bay Area. There's a statement that we have from the California GOP that reads in part, quote, San Francisco has sadly accepted conditions in the city. Market Street is a zombie apocalypse of slumped over drug addicts supplied by all reports by illegal immigrants. America's most beautiful city deserves better. Hopefully the president's assistance will help restore order. We'll take you back live out here. Something we are seeing in the number of different elements of this protest here. Many people are in costume. There's a person out here in this chicken costume holding a sign, trying to get a better look at that sign that says, "Why did the chicken cross the road? To stop a fascist regime." That is one of many signs you're going to see out here. Of course, some that plainly just say, "Keep ICE out," "No ICE or troops in the Bay," "No fate, no fear." Many of these signs also in Spanish as well. We just heard from the mayor of Alameda saying that she supports this protest. We heard a similar message from the San Francisco mayor, Daniel Lurie, and San Jose mayor, Matt Mahan, all saying that they condemn immigration enforcement activity here. All sanctuary cities as well, who do not work directly with ICE during their enforcement policies. Oakland Unified School District leaders put out that message and advisory yesterday, essentially saying and trying to keep parents reassured that federal agents are not allowed on school campuses unless they have some sort of warrant, reminding parents Oakland is a sanctuary city that enforces that kind of policy. But this is what this protest looks like now. It's looked like this for at least the last 2.5 hours. We did have that 5-minute period that became a little troubling, a little worrisome, and for some protesters, they'll tell you a little scary. But those Custom and Border Patrol police officers, the Coast Guard police officers, they've stood back on their side of the line. The protesters have stayed on their side of the line, and there's no telling how much longer these folks will be here this morning. Garcia, Andre, and Sal, send it back to you. Yeah, there was one guy I talked to. He said he's not much of a protester. He's not much of a striker. He's not someone who goes to a lot of events like that. But this is one issue, for some reason, that means a lot to him, that he felt like he wanted to come out, at the very least, just to see what the demonstration was going to look like. And it seemed like this all came together kind of last minute, because if you can imagine, there's not much planning to do, or not much time to plan, when you only find out about this about yesterday afternoon. That's when we broke the news to you at home. But it seems as if a lot of people here, this is a topic that is a big deal to them, something that they are very passionate about, and it really no other way to tell that other than seeing the folks that were out here at 7 o'clock on a Thursday morning. Sure. Yep, we're around. Hey, Megan. Hey, Megan, can you hear me?
Checking on that battery.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jaded.
Yeah, I saw him.
Is he like, he's just coming in on his own time to do this?
Should we get closer up to that?
What's that?
So should we get closer up to that?
I've got a good shot from here.
Just kind of. Sounds good. Yeah, it's really fascinating what's developed throughout the morning here. 7 o'clock is when we saw that 5-minute period of where things got very, very tense. It's been pretty peaceful since. A lot of these folks here have been taking over the intersection. They've been walking all 4 crosswalks here in front of Coast Guard Island, singing together in prayer, saying prayers together. And then we have this incident here you just heard from Allie describe. Alameda fire trucks that all... They were blowing some sirens as they were approaching, and it looked like the protesters at first were going to make way to let them through. We had one woman that was walking around telling everyone, there was someone on the island that had some sort of medical emergency. That's why they're here. It has nothing to do with the protest. But then you had other protesters step in and say, whoa, hang on, keep walking. Everyone keep walking, keep singing, keep doing what we're doing here. So it seems like there's a bit of confusion. It doesn't seem like all the protesters here are all on the same page on what it is that they are trying to achieve, but you can still see a number of people who are standing not even on the crosswalk anymore, but on the roadway directly in front of the fire truck here from the Alameda Fire Department, City of Alameda, and it doesn't look like they're gonna be moving at any moment here. There was one woman who said, if someone has communicated to us that there's a need for it, then let us know. But otherwise, we don't see any fires. We don't see anyone within our kind of group of people that need this kind of attention. So it doesn't seem like this fire truck needs to be here. Again, you have other people saying, well, hang on. Some people did tell us that there's a medical emergency on the island, and that's why they're here. So It doesn't really seem clear where everyone is getting their communication from and why they're not all on the same page. That cheering you're hearing, they all just heard the word. They just read out San Francisco Mayor's Daniel Lurie's statement saying that he spoke to President Trump last night. The president telling the mayor that the deployment of troops, federal law enforcement and federal immigration officers to San Francisco is called off. Now, that's coming from Daniel Lurie. That's coming from the mayor of San Francisco. It doesn't necessarily mean anything for cities like Oakland, Alameda, and other Bay Area municipalities that have been preparing for this kind of deployment. Also, there's skepticism from people who are here, too, because they say, well, I could have sworn I saw some of these Customs Border Patrol people coming in here, and didn't we hear that 100 plus some of these people were already here? So, you know, I think they're taking some of these words with a grain of salt, but that is what we're hearing from Daniel Lurie. That's what some of these folks are now hearing for the first time just a few minutes ago. But the latest development here is this fire truck situation. The fire truck looks like it's now making a 3-point turn or a U-turn to turn around now. I'm not sure if these firefighters, if these first responders are trying to get out of the truck, but no, it looks like they're actually making the turnaround because they can't get through and they can't breach these protesters. So that is the latest of what we have here. It's not clear how much longer these protesters will be here. I've seen a couple of them leave, but still very much a heavy presence here. Still plenty enough people to be here to block off this entire intersection. Gracias, Sal and Andre. Interestingly not. You know, as they were approaching, they had the sirens coming in, I think just letting traffic know as they normally would. But when they actually pulled up to the protesters and stopped, it came to a full, complete stop. There was no honking of the horn. There were no sirens. There was no any sign that would give you a real sense of immediate urgency that they needed to get through. I can't really tell if that's a result of them just kind of accepting that they knew they weren't going to go through, or maybe the emergency they were approaching to isn't as urgent as some people might be suggesting out here. That is information we'll have to check in with the Alameda Fire Department to see what it is that they're actually responding to. But here's the scene again here. The fire truck has now turned around. It's moving away from the protesters. A number of cars have come up as well. So we'll keep an eye on this and, of course, reach out to the Alameda Fire Department to see what it is that they had going on here.
Hey, you guys, James and I swapped, so you can take me on Greg's camera. This is your mic.
Oh, that's my mic.
Yes, it's your mic. Mine ran out of battery. I just have to give an update on what's going on with the fire department.
I think they're... Okay, are you going to go... I think they're going to take two right now.
Oh, take two, yeah.
Take two. Yeah. Now they're going to take two.
Yeah, the battery on the mic cube just died. But Greg is like 10 feet away. So it's all good. Okay. James came over. He's like, "Do you want my mic?" I'm like, "Sure." Just swap. Yeah, the cube ran out of battery. Yeah.
Does he have batteries?
Yeah, he was like swapping them out. All right.
right, we're back to normal. We're back to normal.
Okay.
That jump rope is impressive.
If you're comfortable.
Hey, Megan, come our way when you can. Hey, come to me when you can. Come to me when you can. We have the guy who's being transported. Megan, you can take me. Yeah. I'm front row. I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, this is the benefit of having more than one crew out here, is that we have different vantage points and we can give you different perspectives of what we're seeing. Allie's a little bit further out from where we are, and this is the front row of what she just described here. She just told you moments ago that the battalion chief said that they were going to actually bring the person who needed that medical attention from where they were over to where these fire trucks are stationed, and that is what we're seeing here now. There's a truck that looks like they brought in a man who was sitting in the back seat here. He looks like he's wearing some sort of neck brace. He's getting loaded onto a stretcher right now. They brought a stretcher over from the first responder truck out to the truck that you see here. You see the paramedics and the first responders. They just walked him outside of the back seat of this truck. They're loading him onto the stretcher now. There's some people from Alameda Fire and the Coast Guard crews, of course, still on standby here, watching as these protesters are watching everything here. I think when this truck first started driving up, these protesters started to tense up a little because they wondered, is this truck trying to exit? Are they going to need to block that truck from exiting? Is it someone with federal immigration enforcement that they have been protesting against all morning long? I think those questions were popping in their heads right away. I think now we're seeing, we don't know who is driving this truck, but we are now seeing that it is in fact that medical attention that is needed, the reason why those Alameda fire trucks are out here in the first place. And again, I saw a man that's sitting in the back seat, looks like he was wearing a neck brace of some sort. They have taken him out of the back seat. He was able to walk, so it's really not clear the extent of his emergency at this point. But the first responders were able to walk him out of the back seat. You see him loaded on the stretcher now. He's wearing the neck brace. He has a blanket on top of him. First responders are now taking him from the stretcher, from the truck that just escorted him down here. They are walking over to the fire department. That's a little closer to where Allie and her photographer are now. The fire department, we know that fire truck tried to make its way into this square. It wasn't able to do that because those protesters were still in front of the intersection. It then turned around. It is now facing away from this square of people, and it looks like it's now waiting for this stretcher to go from the truck that we just saw over to the back of that first responder truck, and they'll go and treat that person for whatever medical emergencies they need to be treated for. So you just watched that unfold live with us. We're all watching it together. That is kind of the impact that this protest is having locally here. Of course, you know, these people say they are here because they are against the federal agents that have been deployed here. More than 100 are expected to be stationed here. Of course, we heard the statement from Mayor Daniel Lurie saying that President Trump is going to cancel that deployment to San Francisco. We have not heard any mention on what that may mean for the rest of the areas and cities throughout the Bay Area, including here in Oakland and in Alameda. But that is the latest situation that we have been able to see here. A man dealing with some sort of medical emergency, taken from the island, driven here from a truck and then escorted from, or rather taken on a stretcher from that truck over to a fire department truck that is now just outside the bounds of this strike, of this protest, I should say. And obviously moving forward to, I don't know if he's going to a hospital or where they're taking him, but getting more medical attention as we speak. Not just to conserve some battery. Sorry, I forgot to turn the mic off. Yeah, it's up to you. I'm ready if you need me to. Copy. Yeah, if she can ask as many questions as she wants, that's fine. Yeah, I think you read the statement earlier that he had Mayor Lurie of San Francisco had that conversation with Trump, President Trump, last night, essentially saying that they would call off the deployment of these federal immigration officials in San Francisco. Now, I don't know that we can interpret that to mean the San Francisco Bay Area or if they just meant the city of San Francisco. I don't know what that might mean for the city of Oakland and Alameda and some other areas that have been prepping for this kind of deployment. But I will say, they have had announcers all morning long and a speaker set up. That's where you hear some of the music playing. They've been singing. They've been making some of the announcements. And they read that statement. They read Mayor Lurie's statement. And when they said that part about calling off the deployment, you heard the entire crowd cheer. Again, it's not clear exactly what that implies for other cities in the Bay Area, and really not entirely clear what it implies for San Francisco either, because we've heard some people here on the ground also say, well, I thought we saw these people already arrive. I thought that's who was coming into Coast Guard Island. So if they're here and they're not going to San Francisco, then what's kind of the point, what's expected to happen next. So I think there was a little bit of joy to hear that something's called off, but then also a little bit of skepticism of what exactly will happen moving forward. Yeah, in terms of the National Guard, we've obviously seen examples of that in other places throughout the nation. Most recently in Portland and Chicago. That has been an idea and a conversation with San Francisco leaders for a couple weeks now. You can take you back to Dreamforce last week and the comments that we heard from Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, and immediately we had reactions from Daniel Lurie, Brooke Jenkins, San Francisco's sheriff as well, and law enforcement officers and leaders there all saying, we're not welcoming the National Guard. We don't want the National Guard here. We don't need the National Guard here. That would only create chaos in a city that has been getting a good hold on some of its crime. Now, this protest here and the headlines that broke yesterday and the response that we're seeing this morning, that all had specifically to do with federal immigration enforcement, which we also suspected would bleed into San Francisco, Alameda, Oakland, and other parts of the Bay Area. And we think that because all of these municipalities and cities reacted to that announcement. Of course, we're here at the Coast Guard Island, just in front of it, because this is where we're told that all those federal immigration agents were supposed to be staged and then at some point deployed to areas that they were going to conduct their enforcement. And we heard from the Oakland Unified School District saying that they got official word that specifically this Saturday, they're going to see a lot more ICE enforcement in their area, and just warning parents and community members and also reassuring them that as a sanctuary city that they have policies in place to protect families from unnecessary, what they'll call unnecessary immigration enforcement here. So while this protest is specifically meant for federal agents that are here for immigration policies, of course there have also been thoughts about, well, is this going to spark, if it doesn't, if it's portrayed a certain way, is this going to spark a reaction to bring in the National Guard from the White House, which we have seen happen in other cities? So when it comes to what the actual conversation is about this morning, that's specific, and anyone here will tell you, specific to immigration enforcement. No one has really talked much about National Guard troops or crime or anything like that this morning, but certainly it's been on the minds of people if you've been following the headlines in the news nationwide the last few weeks. Another uproar cheer. I didn't hear that announcement. The speaker is a little bit behind me, but when it comes to how quickly this protest grew, it was about 5 o'clock this morning. We saw one man. Well, really, you can actually take this back overnight, just a few hours ago, before even midnight. That's when some people came out. They sprayed some spray paint on a dumpster, saying that they don't want ICE here. Profanity, some graffiti. They put out these really big rocks that blocked or would have blocked the roadway here leading onto the bridge that would take you to the Coast Guard Island. It was around 5 o'clock this morning that we saw one guy out here holding a sign that was very anti-ICE, saying that the federal immigration enforcement should not be here. We saw the Coast Guard police officers come out. They grabbed those rocks out of the roadway. They cleared the roadway so that way the cars could make it through. And then just about an hour after that first guy showed up, a couple dozen others came out. That's when they started walking back and forth between the two sides of the crosswalk in front of the island. And then it was about an hour after that when we saw dozens more people start to really slowly take over the intersection. Then we saw that tense interaction between the officers on the scene and those protesters. And now it's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. It's looked exactly like this.
Mic check, check, test 1, 2. Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3. Everybody good?
Thanks, Alex. Let's do it again, Alex. That walk.
everybody to stand.
No, I thought I was going to be outside. So. Is this taped down? Good.
I'm tall. I don't want to block anyone.
So were there any changes in there? Before we do that, can we just make sure that all the speakers that are
No changes other than that. So Ursula Dixon, I think, is behind me.
okay?
Do we have her right? Isn't she here?
It's going to be him.
Superintendent's not here. Senator Jesse, that's what she is.
All righty. We situated? Everyone. Good morning. I am Reverend Dr. Jacqueline Thompson. I'm the senior pastor of Allen Temple Baptist Church, and it is my honor, my privilege, but moreover, my moral responsibility to stand before you this morning. We gather here this morning, not out of fear, but in faith, faith in one another, faith in our community, and faith in the values that make Oakland the resilient, compassionate, I will add justice-loving city that many of us have come to know and love. And so in these times of uncertainty, we don't turn away from our neighbors. We turn inward and towards them. We stand with them. We protect them. This is who we are, and this is who we have always been. And it must be made clear that this is who we will continue to be. Today, you will hear from leaders all across every sector of our community, from City Hall to our classrooms, from labor unions to our legal advocates, from business to community, and of course from the faith community as well. All of those who stand on the front lines doing work on behalf of protecting our residents. Each voice you will hear today represents thousands more standing in solidarity. So we are here to send a clear message. Oakland stands united. We are prepared, we are resolute, and we are unwavering in our commitment to protect all of our residents. And now, of course, it is my pleasure to introduce a leader who needs no introduction, but we are blessed because she has dedicated her life to fighting for justice and equality and dignity for every person. Please help me welcome the Honorable Mayor of Oakland, Barbara Lee. Yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor Jackie, my pastor, and I want to thank first our Allen Temple Baptist Church family for once again bringing us together and helping us navigate this very serious moment here in our community, and I want to thank everyone here, our local, county, state partners, community leaders, our neighbors, everyone who continued to stand up for Oakland's immigrant rights. And I think Pastor Jackie framed this message exactly what we're here about today. And I want to thank the press for being here also, and for listening and covering the fact that we're a united front, first of all, elected officials, faith leaders, community partners, all of us delivering action over anxiety and protection over fear as our democracy faces new tests. Now, recent news reports, and I think you all have seen that in San Francisco, Mayor Lurie received a call from Donald Trump indicating that San Francisco was no longer on his list. That does not mean we are not prepared. We have no idea. This is very fluid, and so there's no information we can bring to you today to bring you up to date on what plans they have in place. But we are moving forward with our plans, and we are prepared. The federal administration, of course, has escalated its rhetoric and its enforcement posture in the Bay Area. We know that Border Patrol agents are being stationed on Coast Guard Island. But let me be clear, our city, as I said, we are fully prepared. We're monitoring developments closely and will keep our residents informed if there are any confirmed changes. Oakland is and will continue to be a welcoming city for our immigrants and our refugees, and our laws and values reflect that. The Oakland Police Department does not and will not assist with immigration and customs enforcement. That policy stands firm, and our Assistant Chief will outline exactly how we are upholding it under tremendous pressure. Oakland police officers, of course, will protect Oaklanders' First Amendment rights. However, we are a city which has always been a peaceful city, and we want to make sure that we don't take the bait and that violent behavior toward anyone, police officers, people, individuals.
Words with all of you. I am a second-generation child of immigrants, and my family has been my mixed immigrant family, which includes undocumented people and documented people, for 4 generations here in the city of Oakland. So we are.
If you can just go back as far as you can. Okay, yeah, I just need to make sure. And then let's not, with any cameras, you're welcome to move around, but just don't come past like where this is stops. And this will be the back, just don't come past it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is okay, so you're all in there. Just you can hide as best as possible.
Let's get some security.
I'm not sure. That was guys, there might not be everybody said you can only do one. So you can either squeeze and make sure you're not blocking from shot or maybe someone can go right there. Oh, you just can't do it. I don't think we meant to do that. Do you want to do that? Pocket? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is for. It's okay.
Chief, this from Chief, yeah. Yep. I trust. Thanks, appreciate it. Okay, Mike, how are you? Good. Excellent, thanks. Good to see you this morning. Thank you. Good to be back.